There was no day of infamy yesterday because we've got this. Everybody take a deep breath, say a prayer, commit yourself, commit to the process. Okay, trust the process because we've won. Not we're going to win, we've won. President's won. He's won re-election, won it with an overwhelming majority. We're not going to allow all this nonsense, they're finding 50,000 ballots here. They got, this one doesn't have to have a postmark, doesn't have a signature. It's all nonsense. We're not playing that game. That's the same game of the guys, a 17-point difference in Wisconsin, the one that Trump was 10 points, 12 points, 15 points down. The Charlie Cook of it all, huge landslide victory. Didn't happen. Held the Senate, added to the House, added to state legislatures. They got crushed. They spent billions of dollars to chew up. Jack Maxey, you found we have an obligation here. Burke's dictum. We owe as much to those who came before us. Everybody says it's all for the kids and the grandkids. Yes, it's all for that. It's for the kids. It's for the future. We're a future-forward country. But Burke told us we have an obligation to those that came before us. You're just here for one short period of time. Your time on Earth, you have this temporal thing. Temporal. It's through human agency of what you do to work to take that and make it better and pass it on to future generations. In doing that, you show you respect your obligations to those that came before you, right? Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, all the way back. Everybody that never had a break, to put it on their shoulders, to take it to the next level, right? To deliver to you, to bequeath to you the greatest nation in the history of mankind, a nation that has freed more people. Jack Maxey, the men at Normandy, tell me about him.
What was interesting, Steve mentioned Normandy, and there was no whining or crying as those boys stepped off the LST, or those young men. And what's very important for everyone to understand, we do owe an obligation to these dead who have gone out and fought these battles for us to defend our Constitution. And what was very poignant for me was recognizing that the average age of the men who landed at Normandy was 20 years of age.
Give me that again. The average age was what?
20 years of age.
Correct me if I'm wrong. At 20 years of age back in that time, could you vote?
No, you could not vote until 1970, so that means everybody who was under 21 who died in Vietnam, Korea, everybody.
Everybody that voted on the 3rd, President Trump has he took an oath to God. You have a moral obligation, direct connection to those kids that died in Normandy, that couldn't even vote. Did they whine? Did they cry? No. They knew they were going to certain death. Okay? There was nothing. They knew when you came off those troop transports into those landing craft, at the other end of that was the German army. Gun emplacement. Rommel had taken a year and a half to set it all up. And you're going into that. And the only way we're going to get through is to push ourselves through, right? That's the kind of commitment you have to have. You have to have. So stop in the thing. Stop with your friends. I'm so worried. I'm so nervous. Stop it. We got this. The only way they can take it if we give it to them. If you give it to Rachel Maddow, if you give it to Anderson Cooper, if you give it to Nancy Pelosi, if you give it to that feckless old man in quasi-dementia wandering around, the puppet, if you give it to him, if you allow that to happen, I want you to understand, I want you to explain that to the 20-year-old kid in the first wave on D-Day. That's what I want you to explain it to. It was too hard. They said too many nasty things. You had Antifa. They scared me. Right? I'm afraid. Right? I'm afraid.